one I'm sure they want to deliver to me too, is stand strong. We are not going to accept these continual threats, this continued uncertainty. We're going to stand up for Canadians. This is unacceptable. And we're going to ensure that the Americans understand how pissed off we are, how unified we are, how committed we are to working as a country to stand up for each other and our own independence on our own 2 feet. And I say we don't let up until the president takes the threat off the table.
This is getting extremely interesting right here when it comes to the tariffs. BC Premier David Eby is basically retaliating back for the tariffs that America wants to put on Canada. And where is he targeting this? He's targeting this on American truck drivers. Specifically, if they want to go from Washington to Alaska, they have to go through British Columbia. In the near future, he's going to be tolling American commercial vehicles.
Well, hi, Premier. I have a question on behalf of a colleague who wants to know about, BC's response to these tariffs, which sound like at the moment they've been put on pause to April 2nd. But their question is things like the interprovincial trade barriers that are going to get impacted or removed, and the thing you announced today about trucking fees. Are those going to be permanent, or are those temporary measures?
This legislation will enable us to respond. It will enable us to be able to put that additional cost on trucks going from Washington State to Alaska. It will enable us to respond to remove internal trade barriers and not wait for other provinces to recognize us to move independently. And so this enabling legislation gives us a set of tools that we can deploy very quickly to respond to a rapidly escalating and changing situation.
So if you guys don't know Canada, there's different provinces and there's different premiers. And so the premier of BC has stated a few days ago that they are making strides to toll, trucks going into Alaska, right? And so basically, if you look at the Google Maps here, I'm going to share this with you so that you guys can see this. If you are trying to get to Alaska from Washington, you're basically going to have to go through BC. Okay. And so if you want American goods to Alaska, that's the only route by truck. Of course, by airspace, you could go and stay in American air. But when it comes to going by truck, you're going to have to go from Washington to BC into Alaska. So, Canada knows this, and they're saying, hey, if you're going to put those tariffs on us, we're going to put those tariffs on your truck drivers going from Washington into BC. Now, from this, I want to share is the response from the Alaska governor, Mike DeLevy, says he hopes British Columbia will reconsider. Quote, my hope is that federal governments between our two great countries work out solutions to tariff issues, and provincial and state governments refrain from making unilateral decisions that may have negative consequences that may negatively impact discussions at the federal level as they find solutions. Now, Alaska State Senator Robert Myers says vast majority of fresh produce for most Alaska gets trucked up. Now, the other major issue that I could see is with the oil industry. If you want to get something up here fast, you put it on a truck and not barge. Now, if the British Columbia Premier, David Eby, decides to do this, then, the governor of Alaska sees that hurting Americans, right? So my truckers just want to share with you what's going on, but this is what they're thinking about doing to retaliate to America. So, my truckers, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts about this. Do you make this run from Washington into BC to get to Alaska? I would love to hear from you and get you guys on an interview if I could. My truckers, comment down below.
One single person in the White House who it turns out is an unpredictable and untrustworthy partner who is not keeping his word. I created a Trade and Economic Security Task Force with business and labor and Indigenous leaders to grapple with this issue. Together, we are working on solutions to ensure our economy grows and is prosperous. A task force on agriculture and food to ensure that if the U.S. weaponizes food, that we have the food security we need to feed British Columbians and grow our economy and grow our exports. A BC Softwood Advisory Council for one of the most vulnerable sectors to this unjustified and bizarre trade war, where Americans are, through the president, are trying to make their housing more expensive. Our Softwood Advisory Council will assist us in moving products to new markets and dealing with these unjustified tariffs. And finally, a new cabinet committee is coordinating this work across government. We need all hands on deck. All Canadians, all British Columbians are pitching in, and we're going to do this together. These tariffs are a profound mistake. They hurt people on both sides of the border. We didn't ask for this trade war, but since one has been imposed on us, we're sure going to fight back. We're stronger because we work together. We'll always be the true north, strong and free, elbows up. Here we go. Happy to take questions from the media.
Reminder to callers on the line to press star 1 to enter the queue. We will start on the ground with Keith Baldry, Global BC.
Thanks, Premier. In the last hour, the President has signed another executive order exempting Canada from tariffs until April. First of all, did you know that? What do you make of that? Is that just more unpredictability and chaos from the President? But
yeah,
what's your reaction?
Thanks, Keith. I did see the media report indicating that yet again, the President is sowing uncertainty and chaos, attempting to undermine our economy by implementing tariffs and then quickly pulling them off. He has realized what we told him from the beginning, which is that these tariffs hurt Americans. They hurt American companies. They hurt American workers. They hurt American families. And what's also hurting is the uncertainty that the continued threat and removal of tariffs has on our country here in Canada. My message for the Prime Minister, for my colleagues across the country, and it's one I'm sure they want to deliver to me too, is stand strong. We are not going to accept these continual threats, this continued uncertainty. We're going to stand up for Canadians. This is unacceptable. And we're going to ensure that the Americans understand how pissed off we are, how unified we are, how committed we are to working as a country to stand up for each other and our own independence on our own 2 feet. And I say we don't let up until the President takes the threat off the table.